up? My name is Patricia. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this is the first time you're stopping by, welcome. I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every Sunday and Thursday, so if you enjoy videos like these, don't forget to subscribe. So today I'm doing a very requested video. I did a video maybe like a month or so back on my trip to Australia, and tons of you guys asked for travel tips for traveling, whether you're going, to Asia or Australia, New Zealand, just tips and tricks. And I decided to come back and share that with you guys since I got so many requests to do so. These tips are going to be in no particular order, but I definitely wanted to share with you guys what my experience was traveling that far. Guys, it was quite the experience. Australia is the furthest that I've ever traveled, and it definitely was a long journey, and there are things that I wish I knew prior to traveling that far that I definitely want to share with you guys so that you guys don't make the same mistakes that I made. Now, guys, I had a terrible trip, okay? Now, when I say a terrible trip, I mean my actual flight, like getting there and coming back. I mean, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. That means that I have excellent tips for you guys because I messed up, and I don't want you guys to mess up how I messed up. And I thought I was pretty prepared. So let's get into it. It's going to be in no particular order. If you guys want to know how my trip actually was and how I enjoyed Australia, definitely check out my other video that I posted. I'll leave that up in the cards for you guys. I loved Australia. I cannot wait to go back. Next time I go back, I definitely want to visit further south. I want to hit New Zealand. I love traveling. You guys should know that by now about me. So I definitely want to go to Australia again. I loved Australia. It was just getting there that was the problem. The first tip that I would give you guys is make sure that you guys get a visa. Now, I know for different countries it may be different, but I'm specifically talking about Australia right now. Make sure you get your visiting visa. It's a very quick process as long as you're coming for holiday or for business. Now, if it's going to be long term, things change up a little bit, but if you're going for holiday or vacation, or you're going for like a short business trip, it's very easy. The process takes about 5 minutes to complete the application online, and then approval takes like 20 minutes. I think it costs like $25. Let me tell you guys, I did not know that you needed a visa to get into Australia. Here's the thing about Americans. So we could be quite obnoxious in that, thinking that we should just be able to get into any country without no problem, right? But that was definitely naive of me to think that I didn't need a visa for Australia. Thank goodness it was a very quick and easy process. The second tip would be is to make sure you have enough time in between your flight. Now, if you're anything like me and you're impatient and you move quickly, guys, I'm a New Yorker, right? So I'm like, move. Now, here's the thing though, you really do need that time. I usually look for flights where the layover is short because I don't want to be walking around and waiting around in an airport, right? We really could have used that extra time because what ended up happening was we missed our connecting flight. Now, if you're traveling to Australia or to Asia from out west, you probably don't have this issue. You probably can catch a direct flight from LA to Sydney, but we had, since we were coming from out east, we had to stop in LA and then take a second flight. What ended up happening was A, we didn't have enough time between our flights. B, what ended up happening was our initial flight was delayed, so we ended up missing the second flight. Y'all get what I'm saying? So what happened was the airline put us on the next flight to LA, and then we had to stop in Honolulu, which was not part of the plan, and then take another flight from Honolulu to Sydney. We wanted our travel to have least connections as possible, so we were avoiding that to begin with, but it ended up being that we had to do that anyway, which was kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So allow enough time in between your flights. This ended up happening to us again on the way back, but it's not that we, it's not like our first flight was delayed. Our first flight was on time, but what ended up happening was once we got to our connecting city, we just didn't have enough time in between the flights to go through customs, because once you enter the country, you have to go through customs, even though that's not your final destination. So we did not account for that extra time. So make sure, I would say 2 hours would be enough time for if you have to clear customs or just for you to get to your next gate. Better you're waiting at the gate than you miss your flight, guys. Trust me, I learned the hard way. The third tip that I would have for you guys is to make sure that you reserve a seat that will be comfortable for you guys. Okay, our total travel time was like 30 hours. That is a long time to be walking through airports, a long time to be sitting in an airplane. You want to make sure you're comfortable. Our trip to Australia, coming back was okay, but to Australia was very, very uncomfortable. Now, what ended up happening, because we had so much issues, our main airline put us on a different airline that we did not book. And that airline basically had terrible leg room, guys. So it was very, very uncomfortable. So if you need to do business class, first class, comfort, something, guys, or just book an airline that you know that is known to have a lot of leg room, because guys, it is not comfortable sitting in that chair for that long and you don't have leg room. The fourth thing is make sure that you prepare your body for the trip, okay? Make sure that you're well hydrated before you fly. Make sure that you have snacks along the way. Now, both airlines that we took was very good about making sure that we were fed. But if you're the type of person that likes to munch on things, definitely have some popcorn or some almonds or some cashews or some chips if that's your thing, and keep it in a bag. I like to be ready and have, snacks with me, and that's what we did. Another thing that I would recommend is this right here, which was a lifesaver for me. Now, guys, when you're in an airplane, it's the same air circulating over and over and over and over again. And airports are filled with people, tons of people. You get tons of exposure to whatever it is that's out there. Now, if this is the first video that you're watching from me, I am a nurse. That's always something that I'm thinking about is health. And so airborne is something that I definitely recommend for you guys before you fly. I take these no matter if I'm just flying 1 hour, where I'm flying 3 hours, or international flights. So if you haven't seen it, it's literally at every drugstore. So it has vitamin C, zinc, and some other things in here to help support your immune system. The one that I got is chewable. So on my way to the airport, I just chew on one of these, and I might take one at some point during my flight. Another thing that I do, guys, and you guys can do what you want, but this is something that I do, so I'm sharing it with you guys, is that I take a baby aspirin, prior to flying. Now research used to support that taking a baby aspirin for long drives and long flights help to prevent blood clots, because you guys are sitting for so long and your blood starts to clot off, and God forbid you throw one of those and that's you out the game, right? And so I kind of take that seriously. Current research doesn't really support, or it doesn't support or deny that this helps or doesn't help, but my thing is that I'd rather be safe than sorry. It's an 81 milligram aspirin. It ain't gonna hurt nobody unless you're allergic. Definitely don't take it if you're allergic. But so I take it before flying, if I'm flying for anything more than 3 hours. So definitely a long flight, you're going to want to do that. Another way to take care of your body is to make sure that you are walking in the cabin as much as you can. Now, you don't want to be that annoying person that's getting up every 5 seconds, but definitely keep yourself on a schedule, whether it's like, every 2 hours you get up and just kind of walk up to the bathroom and back. For these long flights and these big aircrafts, sometimes there's some space in the middle where they allow people to kind of, stand up and kind of stretch their legs. So definitely take advantage of that time. I said this already, but I feel like I need to say it again. Make sure you stay hydrated, because I know some people try not to drink a whole lot, so they're not back and forth to the bathroom. But guys, it's so important. You're up that high. You really need to stay hydrated. So that's important. Make sure that you're hydrated before, and that you stay hydrated while you're on the aircraft. Next thing, entertainment. Now, there typically is a lot of entertainment choices, free entertainment choices with most airlines, but just in case, I think it's really good to bring alternatives, especially if you're traveling with younger children that need to be entertained. What I did was, just in case I did get bored with movies or they didn't have good selections, what I made sure to do was I brought 2 books with me that I could read. Whether you're into knitting, whether you're into reading, whether you're into writing, definitely bring something else. Or coloring. They do have those adult coloring books, which are really fun, really cool. I definitely have used those on trips before. Bring other form of entertainment, or you know what I mean, so that you keep yourself entertained just in case you get bored. So next thing is packing. What I'm saying is pack smart. You have to be really purposeful about that. So making sure that you have all your medications on the aircraft with you, if that's something that you take, your electronics, that's cameras, your laptop or whatever, on the plane with you. I would recommend that, all of your entertainment stuff, like your books, knitting, whatever, on the plane with you. And I also recommend that you bring some like underwear, like maybe one or two. I know it's weird to talk about underwear here, but one or two, panties, boxes, whatever you wear, one or two of them. And then like at least one outfit and then something to go to bed with, because you don't know, guys, if they're going to end up losing your stuff or whatever. I also, put my toiletries, the ones that are sized appropriately. So like your 3 ounces, 4 ounces and less, just like the essentials, like, your deodorant, a small body wash, a small lotion, toothbrush, toothpaste on the actual aircraft with me, because everything else is on the bottom. God forbid they lose something. Some of my things did get damaged in the process. My camera actually got damaged. What had happened was I didn't realize that my camera on the way returning from Sydney was in my big, I'm thinking about the word in Creole, but I can't think about the word in English. Suitcase. That's the word. It was in my big suitcase when I thought it was on my carry-on. And what ended up happening was they ruined my camera. So I had to take it to Best Buy. Thank goodness it was still under warranty, like literally weeks away from the warranty being like up, like I think 3 weeks away. So I was able to turn it in and they fixed it and it was fine, but they did damage it. So you don't want any of your like electronics under, because guys, they literally throw, like, you don't want to do that. As long as you have one outfit, pajamas and some underwear, that way you have enough to get you through one day, just in case, your suitcase is on the way. But if they lose it completely, at least you have one outfit to get you to where you need to go, whether it's the mall or whatever, to buy yourself some more things. Another suggestion I would make is just to be aware, or just to make, be knowledgeable about the country's currency that you're going into. Also, if you plan on using your credit card on the trip, if it's a country where you can use your credit card, then definitely let your credit card company know that you're going to be doing that prior to traveling, so that you don't run into any issues. Another thing about currency that I would tell you guys is do not exchange your money at the airport. I repeat, do not exchange your money at the airport. Don't do it on the street. I've done that before in other countries too. Can I say that? Oh my God. Just to be safe, don't do it on the street. But there are different locations that you can go to, local malls and things like that, where the fee won't be as great. Guys, we did at the airport when we first came. Good thing I didn't do like a big exchange there. I just did a little bit. They robbed us, okay? Like, they robbed us. Then we went to another place that was at the local mall, like the local mall that was close to the hotel we were staying at. And guys, like seriously, the fees were so small. So if you can avoid it, don't change your money at the airport, but, do it at a local mall or something like that. And really, I don't even know why we changed it at the airport, because we didn't have to. We had booked our car service prior to the whole trip. Like, we booked it, our car service all together. So we really didn't need to deal with money at all until, the next day. We could have easily just, walked to the mall, which is what we did the next day, and exchanged our money there. So that's another tip. If you can avoid it, don't change your money at the airport. You'll save some money. The last thing I would say is to definitely educate yourself as to the activities that you can do when you get there. Now, some people like to book ahead of time. I like to book 1 or 2 things ahead of time, but really, I think things really open up when you get there. I love going to a different country and just getting some pamphlets and brochures and going through what's popular, asking the locals, asking the people in the hotel, walking the streets, seeing what other tourists are doing. I really like that experience, so I don't limit myself to what I see online, because I really think things open up once you get there. And there's something about that I don't know, it's really exciting. That whole process is really exciting. What I do is before I leave, I look up as much as I can. What is there to do? What is that city known for? So when I was going to Australia, I knew I wanted to see koalas. I wanted to see kangaroos. I wanted to go to the opera house. There were things that I knew that I wanted to do that I could not leave that city without doing. But then there are other things that I might have not thought about. So just look at what is that city known for? Like, what are the foods, things like that. What's the culture about? What's proper? What's not proper? That's another big thing in terms of culture. Like for here, tipping is huge, but Australia, tipping is not really a thing really, the way it is here, where you have to tip, where people don't really expect you to. Sometimes in the high tourist area where there are a lot of Americans are coming, they sometimes think, you know, it's okay because a lot of Americans come through and that's something that we do here, but they don't really do that. So being aware of the culture so that you don't disrespect anyone, especially going to Asian countries too, make sure that you're not coming because you're a guest in their country. You know what I mean? Make sure that you know the customs, that you understand the culture, so that you're as respectful as possible, you know. In Australia, obviously, though their accent is very different, and there you have certain slangs and lingos and things like that, but it's the same language. But if you're, you know, traveling to a different country, learning the basics, you know, like, hey, how are you? You know, how do I get here? Or where's the bathroom? Or whatever. Just some basics I think will help in traveling to countries where the language is not English. Those are the tips that I had for you guys. I really hope that those were helpful. If you guys have any more questions in terms of traveling, I know some of you guys want to know about cruises. I have so much to say on cruise. I really would have to write that down before I share that with you. You guys know that I love cruises. I literally have been on a cruise every year for the past like 6 years. But any other travel questions, let me know down below, or any other video requests, you guys let me know down below. I love my time in Australia. Like I said, I cannot wait to go again. Maybe next year, the year after that, I'm not sure. But this year I am planning a big trip. I'm not too sure where yet. I'm thinking Asia somewhere. Or I don't know. You guys let me know. Where are you planning your next trip to? Like, where's it going to be to? And maybe I can get some tips or ideas from you guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this video reaches you well and in good spirits. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys soon. This will go live Sunday, so that means I'll see you guys Thursday with another video. And as always, God bless.